Hello, my friends. So recently I was talking with one of my friends over coffee, and she was describing to me what was going on with her. She was telling me about what was on her heart, and she was just telling me how she had been really hard on herself lately. And when I was thinking about what I wanted to share with you today, this came to mind because I think that what she was expressing is something that I've heard a lot of people express before. And so I wanted to highlight it tonight and to talk about it a little bit. So she said, I've just been really hard on myself lately. I keep feeling really self-critical. Sometimes I feel kind of like I'm in a funk, and I suspect that I'm self-sabotaging. These were the things that she was saying as she was sharing with me. And I wanted to voice those tonight because those thoughts might sound familiar to you as well. I know that they sounded familiar to me, and I could recognize them myself. So if those thoughts of being self-critical, being hard on yourself are things that you might be feeling, then I think there's a really important relationship that you may want to pay a bit more attention to, and that's your relationship with yourself. Right? I really, really love thinking about relationships and talking about relationships and supporting people in relationships. But one of our most important relationships is our relationship with ourselves, right? How we feel about ourselves. And even if you normally feel pretty good about you, I think even for those of us who normally feel pretty good about ourselves and feel like in a pretty good place, we all go through, or most of us go through phases in our lives where we're just not feeling so good, or we're being kind of hard on ourselves, being down on ourselves. And sometimes that's just not prioritizing our well-being. So I don't know, for those of you who are here with me now, or if you're listening to this later, you know that little raise your hand emoji? I would encourage you to chime in if you feel comfortable and just, raise your hand and say, yeah, me too. Like, we often feel this way at different points in our life. Hopefully not often, but we feel this way sometimes in our lives. And so if, I know I teach this stuff, and sometimes I feel those ways too. So if that is something that you happen to notice that, when you're listening to this video, you might be feeling, then I just want you to pause with me and take a deep breath, and let it out. And for a moment, I just want you to think about something that you really like about you. What is one thing that you like about you? Now, I hope you can find more than one thing. I hope you can find lots of things. But for the sake of this conversation tonight, and when I was talking with my friend, we were talking about, sometimes we have to start small and think, what's one thing I like about myself right now? And so if you feel brave and you feel like sharing, I would love to hear in the comments here if there's something that you think and you feel comfortable voicing what's one thing that you like about you as you're watching this video. I would love to hear that. But I want to encourage you to make time to think about that for yourself. And this is really about your relationship with yourself, about the idea of accepting yourself and maybe even loving yourself, right? We're on different journeys, so how we feel about self-acceptance and self-love might be different for each of us. But these are really important things, and they are important to us because you may notice that when you're feeling good in yourself, right? When you're feeling self-acceptance, when you're feeling self-love, well, first of all, things seem to be a little bit brighter around you, right? Things seem a little bit easier in life when you're feeling okay about yourself. Also, your relationships tend to be easier when you are feeling in a good place with yourself, right? Because you are able to be kinder to other people. You're able to be more generous and more patient with other people, right? When you are feeling in a good place with you, feeling self-acceptance or self-love. So this is pretty important, right? Not only for how we feel in our lives, how we act in relationship. And when we walk through our life feeling good about who we are, we tend to attract more goodness to us, right? So if you find yourself in a place where you're not feeling that way, that's okay. But I really want to encourage you to start just finding one thing that you like about yourself and then adding to that list, right? What's another thing that you like about yourself and another thing? Till hopefully you have a good list going. So one of the ways that when we're feeling this, again, sometimes we recognize we have a lot of inner work to do around this. And sometimes we're like, hey, I normally feel pretty good, but I don't know what's going on right now. I just don't feel that great, right? We're at different points with that. But one of the things that I've noticed is when we're feeling those ways, when we're feeling really hard on ourselves or self-critical, it can be super helpful to be in community around other people who are uplifting and inspiring and working on that practice as well of how do we practice self-love, right? How do we practice feeling kinder to ourselves? And so with that in mind, I wanted to make sure that for those of you who are in the Anchorage area or nearby, that I invited you to join a workshop that Blaze Bell and I are hosting this Saturday. It's the first in a workshop series that we're hosting, live events that we're hosting in Anchorage. And so if you are nearby Anchorage or it's easy to get here, we really want to invite you to join us. It's this Saturday. So that's the 28th of October, and it is from 12 to 2 p.m. at the Kindred Collective, which is a really beautiful space downtown. So if this is something that you're interested in delving a little bit deeper into, if it's something that you want to spend some more time with in an uplifting space with inspiring people, this will be a really beautiful, just 2-hour workshop, a way to boost your self-love this weekend and gift yourself that time. This is also a really great opportunity if you're someone that's been thinking about coaching, if you're somebody that's been kind of curious about, what is life coaching or what might it be like to work with Blaze, who is a certified coach, or myself, I'm a certified coach. If you want to get a sense of what coaching might feel like with either or both of us, this is a good opportunity because we'll both be there and you'll get 2 hours of our time in this small group setting to really focus in on self-love. And this workshop particularly is focused on intention setting. So how do we set an intention? How do we check in about where we are with self-love right now? And then how do we set intentions to really commit to being kind to ourselves, to being loving to ourselves? And, we also will do some other little activities that should be really fun. So if you want to know more, you can always message me. And otherwise, if you're in the Anchorage area, I hope you can join us for the workshop. Ask me any questions here in the feed. And either way, even if you're not in Anchorage, I hope that you'll watch this video if you joined me later on, go back to the beginning, and really think about, how can you find things that you like about yourself and maybe even love about yourself? And how can you celebrate those things and just give yourself the time each day to remember things that you like about you? So thanks so much for being here with me tonight, and I invite you to join our workshop. I'll put in event details here in the comments, and that will be a way for you to sign up if you'd like. And it's really nice to see all of your faces here. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.